Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another ECM test, this time working on a marine engine computer coming from Oklahoma. Monte Doherty, I think is his name. He has concerns about no start condition, even though I've been running the computer for multiple times, this last time for almost 20 minutes or so. And it's being started every single time. So let me just show you, well, you can see in there the computer connected over to this simulator. I have the diagnostics and everything ready. And this is the notes. Those are very close of that. But yeah, this is the computer right there. Sorry about that. Let me just get you over to the folder that I have from him. All right, so this is the same connections and everything you just saw there. Let me make sure I can open it. Yep. So this is the note. It just says, I have attached a Word document with the issues, which is this note in here. It says, currently there is a no start condition or a start and run for a couple of minutes and it shuts down condition with no restart. This boat has been in 2 Volvo Penta shops for the past 2 years with no results from either shop. Originally, they started out with when pulling a skier or a tube where it will die, it'll start right back. After a couple of weekends of that sporadically happening, it will die and either start back or take up to 30 minutes to restart. To me, it mimicked the ignition module getting hot, breaking down, and not working as a ignition module. In an old Chevy GXi distributor, I have replaced the ignition module, ignition coil, crank sensor, Hall effect sensor, master flow sensor, cab rotor plugs, wire, crank sensor, again, idle control sensor, NOx sensors, low and high field pressure module, safety kill switch, ignition key switch, all fuses and relays. The ground have been checked, and the cannon plug connector has no corrosion. Starter and alternator, all the shops can say is that they can see everything is communicating on the scanner and they have a no start condition, or when they do, it will not run for a couple of minutes and then die and no restart. The vessel is a 2006 Stingray 220DR with a 5.0 GXi-F Volvo Penta, which is the EGC module. We have the serial number and everything in there for the boat. And this is the computer. That's an EGC, which is perfectly matching its setup. All right, so that is, I did grab the first recording. Let me make that a little bigger so you can read with me. This is just, all the values that I have in here, not really important, but the boat has 321.26 hours. And these are the codes. Active, the buzzer is not connecting and the auxiliary is not connected in here. So those I can disregard. These ones are previous codes. One for the barometric pressure, high, which could be an indication of not very well connected map sensor or a harness issue, and then a crankshaft position sensor fault. 0 RPM, 147 degrees. So it looked like it had been running. Because the first one, you can see it shows us 132 RPM, so probably cranking. The boost map is not being read, and we can see that in that data, and that is very important. For the configuration, in here, the computer has everything, the calibration, firing order, and everything, and it's all reading properly. Manufacture date, 2005, 7/15. And then the firing order, and it's a 5.0, so everything is matching properly. I even save a running one just for the records. This is just, again, for me and my records of having one running. But I'm going to show you now here. So I'm going to put the diagram on the screen. Let me get that in a full view of myself. And then let me relocate that into your view so we can see that better. Or bigger. I'm going to select one of the data pits, at least the RPM. And then let me select it so you can see the actual reading of the RPM. I'm moving it, but it's not showing yet. Let me see. I might have to select it on my view diagram pit, engine speed, and that should be there now. Okay, so we can, let me make that a little bigger so you can see that from the distance. But so we got engine RPM and it's been running for all this time. So I can actually move that here. Well, now it's ginormous for the purpose of this view. So I'm going to make it a little smaller and reposition that. But I want you to see that we have, this is a 5.0. So the 5.0 and the 4.3 and so 5.7, they have a distributor. And you have one ignition signal going over to the ignition module, which is this signal here. And then we have the 8 injectors, which are this flickering light. We have the IX valve in here. You can see that sometimes it changes the center, so it's active. Everything is working good. I got 3.4 milliseconds of injection in all the 8 injectors. I can do a zoom in there. Hopefully you can get to see that a little better. Sometimes it's a little hard for this to catch up. Yeah, now you can see it. I also have connected the firmware reference, so we're reading 5 volts perfectly there in the sensor ground right here on this white label here. I got the main power relay, the horn, everything is, the fuel pump is on, everything is working as it's supposed to. So I'm going to kill the engine off like normally, right? So I'm going to turn the ignition off. So if you're going to see for a second that we lost the communication. Not really showing it, but I have to put that second pit for that. That comes to 2. Yeah, now you can see it. All right, so you can see now no communication because I left it like die, right? So I'm going to turn the ignition back on, so the battery and then ignition. And we can see the main power relay and the fuel pump come on, which is now is off. So that is working as it's supposed to, and I'm going to run it. And it runs instantly, not an issue. So I can let it run. Oh, I forgot to show you the time, but it was running for 22 minutes. Hopefully you can rewind. In the time the engine has been running will be on the right lower corner of that capture. Which now I have to reconnect. And you can see it's now reading 0.4 of a minute. So that is just normal. I'm going to have to reselect the pits. I'm going to put the pits and I'm going to put them in your screen. 1 second. Because when I change those, I have to reselect it. So I'm going to put the engine. Yep, it looks like we have now both in your view correctly. But yeah, this is definitely not looking like anything wrong on the computer at all. So I see the fault codes. It's hard to say if they were there because they were doing, unplugging and plugging, especially when you have an issue like this. But so far, Monty, I have not been able to reproduce your concern, and I have been running this computer again for 4 times, 20 minutes, 4 times. I let it cool down, warm it up. I even apply heat with a heat gun to warm up the computer to normal operating temperature, nothing abnormal. Trying to mimic anything to see if it's heat related, but based on his notes, it's not. Sometimes it said it starts and runs for 2 minutes, or it would not warm up. The only thing that I see is that crankshaft position sensor and the map sensor values wrong, and not here, because let me reselect the pits. I'm going to close the ones we have, and I'm going to reselect to show you the barometric pressure and the manifold pressure. You can see the lights flickering on the back. But you see we have barometric pressure. Well, the map is showing the same. So let me again change that pit. Let me change either one to manifold pressures. Yep. And you see the pressure is very important to fire the injectors. If it's not reading barometric pressure, it's because the manifold air pressure is not working either, because it's based on that. But if I change the manifold air pressure, And you can see that I'm doing the change. All that is reading properly. If I increase that, you're going to see how it's changing. You know, when I change the injector millisecond goes to 5.8 milliseconds. So the manifold pressure is very important for that injection millisecond. Based on that, it's going to adjust the injection time. I usually keep it an idle here for my test. Again, this is only my body. Don't try to mimic that or expect to have that in the boat, because it's not. This is a control test. But this is a valid test that I always run. And we can see how now we have 3.5 milliseconds based on what I put in there. Throttle position is in, let me see, I can almost read it from here. 5.5%. 3.1. The computer is looking for around 3.1 milliseconds of ejection, and we got 3.5. So that is very close to what the computer is seeing. But both sensor signals are good. So I'm going to change, because this computer has two 5-volt reference. So right now I have 5-volt reference and the sensor ground lighting up. So this is 5-volt reference 1. I'm going to connect the other one. So you see right now, hopefully you can see now it says 0.10 with nothing connected, and this light on this, it went off. So that is the sensor ground. I'm going to plug the sensor ground, and it's on. And I'm going to plug the second 5-volt reference, and I have 5 volts, and the sensor ground is now lighting up. So both 5-volt reference and both sensor grounds in the computer are intact. So yeah, it is a little hard. Right now we've been running it for almost 4.5 minutes. So this is probably already over an hour or hour and a half of this computer running. And now, like I said, I mean, turn it off, turn it back on, turn it off, and to see, because he said it's currently a no start condition or a start and die. It start and run for a couple of minutes and then shuts off. I have not get that. You can go back into the video and you will see where I was having like over 20 minutes. I'm going to kill it again. I'm going to leave the ignition on, and I'm going to just run it one more time. And you can see how it starts instantly. It's like not a problem. So do I have anything wrong on this computer, Monty? No, I don't. At least not here. So something is definitely wrong in your harness, because changing parts just for the sake of trying to fix something, yeah, sometimes it works, but I am a data analytic person, and I connect. That's what I use, oscilloscopes. The oscilloscope is the best tool you can have right now. Why? Because you can connect to different signals, very important ones. Okay, the manifold air pressure, the crankshaft position sensor signal. You can connect to your oscilloscope, 2 channels, and then always use the grounds to the battery ground, and then run the boat and see when it dies if any of those signals goes down. If the manifold air pressure goes into an implausible signal or 0, well, it will shut down the injectors. If the crankshaft position sensor signal is erratic and it goes off, well, then it will be a no start condition, and that could be your problem. If the boat dies and those signals look good, please, I would recommend you to tell your shop to get a picoscope so they can save the data, and I will be able to analyze it and help them. I'm really good diagnosing things. The next thing you can do is also check your relays, because it could be something as simple as the main power relay or the fuel pump relay. Because, if the relay or the relay carrier are losing a power or a ground sporadically based on temperature, maybe the harness is rubbing into something, you can catch it again with the oscilloscope. You can go into the battery feed first and the ground, so you can do one relay at a time. The oscilloscopes that I have are 4 channels, so you can connect the 4 channels. You can be going to terminal 30, terminal 87, which will be the output going onto the computer or to the fuel pump, depends on the one you're checking. And then I will put, again, 1 into 87, 1 into terminal 30, which is constant battery power. That has to be always there. The next channel, I will put them into the ground, which is, in this case, I think it's constant ground. And then the third one, which will be another power, which is ignition power to activate once you cycle the key. You start a boat and it runs. All those signals has to be steady. They cannot go out at any time. if the boat dies and those signals dropped, you're not turning the ignition off. So those should be always steady. They should not change. If you see a change, well then, now let's see which signal is the one is giving me the problem. I'm losing the ground, I'm losing the ignition, I'm losing the power, I'm losing the output. You see what I mean? Because then I can help you better, because just with symptoms and absolutely no diagnostics, because all I read in your note is symptoms, but no fault codes and no actual tests done. Replacing parts, again, is sometimes helpful when you don't want to try something quick. But at the end of the day, it's just a gamble, right? Like I said, I am a data analytic person, and with data, I can tell you with certainty what the problem is. When I go and I do diagnostics for several marinas around here, and they, when I show up with the oscilloscope. Everybody's like, wow, because it's not in the marine I don't know, area. It's a little hard to see technicians in shops. They have an oscilloscope. They need to start improving their skills a little more, which is pretty simple. An oscilloscope is really like a multimeter, a graphing multimeter, a very fast graphing multimeter that you can see a signal, a voltage signal changing on time, and you can record with a picoscope in a laptop for hours. So in this case, you don't need to record for hours, because as far as you're telling me, it happens in a minute. So this should be something really, really simple to pick up quickly. It's something you can reproduce. I mean, I understand when I have an intermittent, it happens every 3 months. I have vehicles that, like I was not able to fix right away because it was so intermittently happening, like every 3 months, and no heat related. So those are hard to duplicate. Why? Because it's not happening very often. But when you have something that happens in a couple of minutes, with a tool like this, with an oscilloscope, I guarantee you, I will fix your boat in 1 day. They should, again, get themselves a tool like this, connected to the systems, as I told you, and then start to find out what is good, because we don't know what is bad. But if we start, at least I will make a note. I always carry a notepad, and I start making, okay, I'm going to test a fuel pump relay, both died, all signals good, and I save my document, a picture, and I save the waveform with the date and everything. And then I move into the main power relay, and then I move into the crankshaft position sensor and map. And if I want to pick something else I picked, I will into the injectors, the coil signal, the EST signal. So see, something has to be happening major. But if you can reproduce it in between minutes, I mean, this should be, again, something really simple. And as you can see right now, I have, just by talking to you guys, so over 6 minutes of another time. So another 10 minutes of the boat running with no issues. I'm going to kill it just one last time for the sake of the video. Right, I'm going to put the ignition back on and then run it. And as you can see right here, injectors, everything is running perfectly. All right, guys, I hope that you see or understand how much I'm trying to help the customer. I do have wiring diagrams for all. If there are Volvo Penta shops, they should have access to all that information. And their Volvo Penta's manuals are really good, especially the diagnostics ones, to help the technicians make good tests, like with a graphing multimeter, and they do good tests. So use a test light to load the circuits and so on. So yeah, they should be able to, without a doubt, fix your boat with no issues. But this is definitely not in the computer. I cannot duplicate. Everything is working fine. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.